hold a great admiration for some of the early scientists whom we remember for their notable contribution in science and in our lives. A couple of years ago, I was thrilled and pleasantly surprised to recognize that a number of these scientists were Christians and actually made great contributions that we actually use up to today. The Gregor Mendel's, the Louis Pasteur's, the Isaac Newton's, the Galileo Galilei, and many more of these, just a mention of a few of them. I was thrilled. I want to be like one of them. I loved biology since I was in primary school. I have vivid memories of seeking refuge in my biology textbooks when I couldn't grasp any other subject, especially the night prep preparations. It was easy for me. I couldn't sleep on these books like I used to sleep on any other. Wow. Yeah, I also loved chemistry. We had a great teacher in secondary school who was very determined to make us understand the subject. He was very determined to make us understand the subject. And initially, actually, I must mention that he used to be very mean and tough on us. Whenever we would come to class, he would be like, go out, run in the field 2 times, then come back, and we didn't like it. Actually, initially, we were not passing in chemistry. But then, somehow, I think our teacher met Jesus. His transformation in life was a day and night transformation. I kid you not. He became soft, he became kind. He repeated more concept until we understood it. He made us love chemistry. When I joined university, during my first zoology lecture, I remember our lecturer starting off the lecture with some very difficult words. Zoomastigophora, Phytomastigophora, Sarcomastigophora. What are these now? In his next lecture, we had reduced from 120 to 80 students. I kid you not. But I honestly enjoyed these subjects. For me, these terminologies were not difficult to mention. I could easily work across them. So when I finished school, taking you back before undergraduate, is that I actually loved biology and chemistry so much. And I thought, why not combine these two and do biochemistry? That was easy. I wanted to do biochemistry for myself. But a career guide whom my dad invited to speak to us was skeptical about my direction in science. She was worried that I actually may not be successful in it, or I'll not be happy and have to change fields like she did and pursue other fields. But I was adamant. I was quite convinced that I was gifted in science and God had gifted me for a reason. I wanted to pursue on with sciences. Soon after starting my biochemistry courses, I discovered that this was not the same thing. Biochemistry was not just biology plus chemistry. In fact, it was a whole new subject and it was so difficult. But somehow, I pursued through it and I succeeded and I completed it. But I must mention also something else. 2 months before I finished my undergraduate, I was so blessed to get a job opportunity in an international institution here in Kenya for a research position. You can imagine my joy. I was going to prove the naysayers wrong. Here was God blessing this path. I mean, I chose science, he laid it in my heart, and now I was following it, and he was blessing me. I carried on with my research at the institution, but shortly on, I realized that if I want to succeed very well in science, I must pursue my postgraduate studies. That is to be able to write proposals that I can influence what it is, the research that is being done, or at least I can lead the projects in the direction that I would like to. I was greatly, again, blessed to get a fully funded fellowship for the master's in molecular biology and also a PhD in biochemistry and biotechnology, both in Belgium, on a different span of time. This was such a blessing. I mean, look, God was guiding this path. We were set. The things that I was carved out for were working, and I was so grateful for it. Well, the postgraduate study, I must say, was difficult. It was tough. I was tested. There were valley moments when I questioned all my choices in life. I wondered, you know, why did I get into this? I wanted to quit so many times. But again, by the grace of God, I made it through. I came back home fully convinced, you know, happy, excited. I have my PhD. Dr. Wangeci, I asked people to call me. There were now jobs for me. I mean, I'm going to be a senior scientist where I want, or in any university that I want to work in Kenya. I have worked for it. I am coming home. Kenya needs PhDs. But this was not to be the case. At least not for 22 months of job searching in Kenya. I was crushed. I totally was flattened. Did I get it wrong? Were all these people who spoke to me against pursuing sciences, were their predictions coming true? Was the prediction as well for doing genetic modification in Kenya? Because I was warned also about it. I was told you better do, molecular breeding. Don't do this GMO stuff. It's not accepted. It will not be good for you. But I went on with it, and here I am. And it's 22 months. I can't tell my relatives what to do. I don't have a job. Kenya doesn't have opportunities for scientists, remember I was told. Well, as a millennial, I was totally flattened. All the entitlement spirit in me was drained. Indeed, people, what screws us up most in life is the picture in our head of how it's all supposed to be. So, after a lot of soul searching and thinking about it, I decided to open myself up to any opportunities that comes along my way. Not, well, still within my boundaries, but at least opportunities that come my way, and also not to close myself so much into opportunities in Kenya alone, because I was really confident that I've served my time abroad. It's time to come back to Kenya. Well, again, God smiled at me, and an opportunity, a postdoc opportunity, came up in South Africa. I remember saying, Lord, is Cape Town our destination? I was excited. I took up a postdoc opportunity in biopesticides policy and regulation, which was a bit far from my own field, but I confidently walked into it. And I must tell you people, the only one main skill that came in handy for my recruitment in this position was my previous science communication during my graduate studies. Besides that, I pegged my hope on the power to read that I was given during my graduation. I can do this stuff. In the biopesticide policy and regulation work, I promote the use of safe and sustainable pest control methods. But I also must mention something else before I go into that. I had sworn never to do a postdoc in my life. At least in graduate school, I had looked at postdocs and I didn't admire their lives. Life and its twists and turns, and now a postdoc. Good people, what do you do when life throws curveballs at you? How do you accommodate life when it throws such curveballs? How do you keep going? Climate change is likely to throw the same curveballs at us. It's possible that what we are preparing for is not what we will have to handle in the future. It's possible that we will have to even involve people who were never there in our sight initially. I propose to you that flexibility, courage, and resilience will be one of the key characters, some of the key characters that are necessary for adaptation to climate change going forward. As we step into this uncertain world, I have a question for you. What will be the wind beneath your sail? Thank you.